It was. It's been, trying to take advantage of this bye week, and beginning of it, coaches really over half of them went from Maryland to recruiting Monday and Tuesday, and players were in the weight room Monday and Tuesday. And today it was good to get out on the field. And there's a certain number of guys that really won't be doing anything this week, trying to get them back healthier. And then we got another group of guys I think that we can kind of take a little bit off them, so that they, they've been playing a lot. And then it was good just kind of getting back some fundamentals today. And we still got a lot of guys that we're counting on that I think can still benefit from some practices that just are not dealing with game planning, but just fundamental development. So it was good today. The kids liked where they're at and their approach, and we'll have a good one tomorrow and then give them the weekend off.
How difficult is it to keep an edge? You need a break, but then still to keep the momentum going?
Yeah, I think that everyone probably faces that in the bye week, and you just gotta. I think you got to make sure you get something, whatever it is you're trying to get out of that week, do it. And there's no way that you can keep it in game mode for 2 weeks, and so try to take advantage of a late bye like this. I think you have different maybe goals or different objectives than if it was an early bye week. So this is when it is, and it's fun. Like Austin was able to get out and practice today. So there's some things like that kind of re-energize the group, and but we just we know that we gotta restart it, next Monday. But I think focus is making sure we have a productive week this week, and some of the production. Us being productive is, I think, getting some guys healthier, and that, with some, that includes rest. So I think we just got to do it, and then we got to know that we got to restart it and finish strong.
You mentioned Austin, and I think after the Maryland game, you said it'd be interesting to see who you might get back.
Mm-hmm.
What was he able to do today, and what about guys like Corey and Chryst?
Yeah, Corey and Chryst didn't, guys that didn't do anything. Steffes did some stuff on the side, but was more than he'd been doing last week, which was good. So I think we that group, probably just see what happens this week. We're not going to try to force anything tomorrow necessarily, but at the same time, it was good to get a guy back.
Was he able to go through normal practice, or still?
Yeah, we did. We weren't real physical today,
yeah.
So he was able to do all of that. Tomorrow we'll have a little bit more hitting. So we'll probably be smart and not have him in that. But it was good just getting him moving. And he did a nice job, I think, in his rehab to be able to come out, and he looked good running routes and whatnot.
Against Maryland, to combat likely, it looked like you went with both Jack and Rosowski, obviously. Did you like what you got out of the mix there? Some pooches, some...
When we executed the right way, I thought we did a nice job on one pooch, and then we're offsides on it. And I thought that was a really unique special teams game, because we were at both extremes in a lot of ways. And I think that's an area we can get better. We can't be. The coverage units did well, but I thought that our kicking was all over the place. And we had a kickoff return, obviously it was a big play, and yet, we got one where we're starting to drive on the 10 or 12, or, so we can get better, and that's one thing that this has been good. Today we had good work on special teams, and we'll get some tomorrow, and we can definitely be cleaner there.
Was Rosowski even a thought process going into the season that he might be used on kickoffs, or just because of Endicott?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. You don't think of kicking three usually, but with the injury to Andy, that ends up being, where PJ had an opportunity, and I thought he did a good job. I thought guys covered on those. It was nice.
Joel's received a lot of criticism in his career, especially this year for whatever reason, from the fan base. Why do you think that is, and also how do you think he's handled all of that?
Don't know, and don't think about what they're saying, or I don't know how he's handling it compared to last year, because I wasn't here, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I know of him, I think he's been good, in our interactions and with the team, and And so I don't really know what else to say about that. Like, I've liked being with him. I think he's approached the season the right way and handled it. And no one's going to be harder on him than himself. So I don't think he worries about that, is my guess.
Do you think criticism players receive now is different from when you played, whether it's because of social media or anything else?
Or there's actually fans.
That too.
You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'd say it's different. You know?
Do you sit down and watch the Northwestern and Minnesota games this week, either individually as a staff?
I watched the film.
Okay, so you're not going to watch like live the game?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hadn't gotten that far.
Have you had much chance to look at Northwestern's tape and
Starting
their
it.
personnel?
Yeah, starting to.
Do you get a chance to do nothing this weekend, like sit on the couch and eat Cheetos and stuff?
Sounds pretty good. I don't know what I got going yet. I know we're going to do some recruiting Friday, and then I'll come in and, like, those days where you can just kind of come in and watch film on your own with no one in the building, those are pretty good days. I'll figure out something. It'll be good.
You do that 7 days a week if you could.
It'll be a pretty good life. I got a pretty good thing going right now, but yeah.
You mentioned Endicott. Is he even close to being back?
I hope he's close, you know.
Okay.
We didn't do much kicking today. We did more of the units. Tomorrow we're going to do some kicking. So reports are, you know, from the training room that we can do more. He can do more. So how that goes tomorrow will be interesting.
There's still hope for Rob Wheeler.
Hey, you guys must all have the over, because we're getting a lot of questions.
Already over 7.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What's
Still
that?
hope for Rob Wheeler towards the end of the season.
We'll see. You know, asking about that, and he's out of his cast, so he's making progress, and see how that goes. He's doing some running in the pool, and I think it's all that's, you know, just how does a guy handle that next phase, right? And so don't know, but yeah, there's hope.
State football, we got the semis this week, next week, state.
Right.
Talked to some of the guys like Erickson and Schobert. What's the impact of having that here and all those kids coming to your place?
Well, I think it's, you know, I was fortunate enough to, as a player, playing it, and it's a big deal, you know, to the kids, I think, in the state, and a lot of our players that have played in or were in that, it's pretty neat. Guys are talking about it, you know. That's what I know. A lot of guys are doing that this weekend, going. You know, Joel was talking about going with Shobes to see his high school play, and I think, you know, I don't know if it's for the programs, but I think for the state, it's really good to have it here. I think it's a big deal, I know, to the teams, and I sure like being around the atmosphere. You know, you're in the office and you're hearing the PA announcer, and you see the teams and warming up in the indoor. It's a good vibe around here.
What are some examples of what you do in practice having a much later bye compared to an earlier bye?
Examples?
Well, you mentioned that there's some differences. So what are some of the differences?
Well, I think if you're in week 2, you're going to spend more time maybe working on some packages and plays, and might be a little bit more physical, where this time of the year, you know, there's a big focus on getting some guys healthy, that you may or may not have that opportunity or challenge in an earlier bye. You know, I think that we took probably one day more off this time than you would if it was an early bye. So I think those are some of the examples.
Do you have a preference of when you would?
Whatever it is, you handle it and you deal with it, and you hope you're doing the best thing for the team. And I feel good with this schedule. I think it fits us right now. But no, because you don't get to pick it, so you just roll with it.